Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Sorry for the little bit of delay. My Zoom didn't want to start for me today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you so much for coming tonight to the Restore in 2024 Masterclass. I am so excited to be here with you. I am just really passionate about this topic of goals and resolutions and how we can actually reach those goals and feel better with our thyroid disease or whatever health problems we're having in 2024. I know it's a really busy time of year, so I really appreciate you taking the time to be with me tonight because I know there are lots of demands on your time. So, have you ever felt any of the following? And if any of these ring true to you, just put like a yes or a 1 in the chat for me. So, have you ever felt like I have never have energy, no matter how much I sleep, to do the things that I love to do? It doesn't matter what I do, my weight goes nowhere. I can only lose weight and maintain it if I never eat carbs again. I've tried every diet out there, but I just get bored eating the same old things. I don't want to give up on my favorite foods. It takes too much time to exercise and eat healthy. I set goals every year, but nothing ever changes. And dealing with all of this makes me anxious and or depressed. Right? This is what I hear from so many people that I talk to, that this is how we all feel. I was even driving to work yesterday, and on the radio host was saying something about it being the new year soon, and she's going to set the same 4 resolutions that she sets every year that she doesn't make. And that's kind of how it's become, like, as a societal thing of, oh, we set these resolutions that we know we're going to fail at, and we feel stuck with what we've tried. And so, if you answered yes to any of those questions, then you are in the right place right now, because we're going to address those. So what if instead you created realistic goals that were tailored exactly to your life and your needs? You had healthy goals that focused on your whole self and actually addressed your low energy and weight gain problems. You had the support you needed to maintain this lifestyle long term. So it's not just a quick fix. This is a long-term lifestyle change. You forgot about your thyroid issues beyond remembering your medications every day. You didn't have to think about the diagnosis that you have creating the issues that you're experiencing. Wouldn't that feel great? Would you feel better now? I would think that you would. So our goal for this evening is to address that. So our goal, by the end of today, you will know how to discover the why behind your health goals. You're going to know what health goals will actually help you have more energy and lose weight, and how to be consistent so you stick to your goals and don't get bored. And you're going to do all of this with less stress and anxiety, because none of us needs more stress and anxiety in our life. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded by so many things. We experience so much decision fatigue and mental overwhelm. We don't need this to contribute to that. We need this to relieve some of that, right? So that is our goal today. So just a little housekeeping. I'm going to ask you questions. Feel free to put comments in the chat or questions in the chat. I'll answer them at the end. But put them in the chat so I can answer them at the end. And, as I ask you questions, respond in the chat. I am keeping an eye on it, so I will see what you're saying. So make it an open discussion. This isn't just me talking at you. I want to hear your input as we're going along. This is an interactive class. And then if it would be okay with you, at the end, I'm going to talk about my new program that I'm very excited about called Ignite 2024. So who the heck am I? So my name is Kim Marsh. I am a registered dietitian. I was born in Los Angeles. I was raised in the Midwest in Missouri. I got my undergrad at Brigham Young University in Utah in dietetics. And then to be a dietitian, you have to do an internship, think like a residency for a doctor, but not as long. And I did that while getting a master's in clinical nutrition at Rush University in Chicago. And that's where I met my husband, Doug. And we now have 4 kids who are 10, 8, 6, and 4. So very busy. And we now live in Colorado. I am a thyroid cancer survivor. So that picture with the drain hanging out of my neck is my second thyroid cancer surgery I had, actually. And I did think I was smiling when my husband took that picture. So, but all 4 of my kids have been born since my thyroid cancer diagnosis. So, it is possible. I'm a wannabe foodie. I love to cook. I love to try new things. I love to eat food other people made for me. I just love cooking and eating food and looking at food. I love watching food shows. I'm a foodie person. I love to hike and bike and be in the outdoors. I sometimes like to ski. My husband's been teaching me. My kids are better skiers than I am, and I love to play volleyball. I love to take advantage of the outdoors here in Colorado where I live. That's me and my 2 oldest kids. We hiked a 14er, which is a 14,000-foot mountain here in Colorado. It's a big thing people do here. If you're not from Colorado, you may have never heard of it, but it's a big thing people do. And I'm super proud of them that they were able to do that because it was not an easy hike. And I have experience working in cancer nutrition. So my own experience with thyroid cancer, but I've previously worked in a hospital where I worked with people with lots of different kinds of cancer, geriatric nutrition. So working with people in skilled nursing and rehab facilities, and then also obviously endocrine nutrition related to thyroid disease. And some fun facts about me: I played the piccolo in my college marching band for 5 years. And I went on a study abroad to London, which was one of my favorite experiences I had in college. But while I was there, I actually broke my arm, which is the only like major bone I have ever broken. And I didn't get a cast. It was kind of a crazy experience. And I love nutrition memes. And this is one of my favorite ones. It just always brings a smile to my face and makes me chuckle. So I'm fat, but I identify as skinny. I'm trans slender. So what I want to talk to you about tonight, I talked a little bit before about what if we can make this a sustainable long-term goal. So we need to change our mindset as we go into this a bit and realize that health is a journey. It is not a destination. And it's kind of like a bike ride. If you think of life as a bike ride, if you're riding a bike, you can go forward or backward, but not stand still unless you're on a tricycle. But we're on a 2-wheel bike. We're big kids now. And so we're not going to this place called healthy. It's not a place to get to. About this time a year ago, I did something called 75 hard. And in that, I had to do a whole bunch of exercise and diet and drink a gallon of water and all of these things. And I did it to prove to myself that I could do it, right? And at the end of that 75, it's called 75 hard because you do it for 75 days. And on day 75, I was probably the healthiest I've ever been. But then the next day, I stopped doing all of those things. So it wasn't this destination. It was this journey. I could be on a healthier path or a less healthier path. I'm just always going in one direction, but there's not some destination you can get to. Instead, the destinations are the places we get to that our health choices get us to, like a dream vacation or a big anniversary, like getting to 50 or 60 years with your spouse could be really exciting. Being able to play with your grandkids and have the energy to do that, or being able to ski when you're 90 years old. You know, my husband's grandfather just turned 99 and he was still skiing when he was 90. And you know, what are those health goals that you have for yourself? Or are you going to make different goals and have the personal costs of, instead of your big anniversary, you know, you're struggling with the complications of diabetes, or you have a stroke, which limits your ability to move and be with your grandkids and do different things, or your ability to talk. Are you going to need joint replacement surgery? So you're not going to be out skiing because you don't want to mess up those knees that you just got fixed. Or are you going to have a heart attack that prevents you from traveling to your dream vacation spots? What is the cost of your health choices? You're always going toward or away those different endpoints that your health choices can get you on your personal journey. And I love this quote, and it is kind of a combination of a quote by Alex Rodriguez and then Carol Dweck in her book, Mindset. And it says, you either go one way or the other. You might as well be the one deciding the direction. And I feel like that really goes with our analogy. So, are you ready to commit to that journey? Are you ready to commit to a health journey, not a destination? If you are, throw me a thumbs up or a 1 in the chat. And when we get to the end of the session, I'll talk to you more about how we can do that together. So let's talk a bit about resolutions. And this is where we're going to get really interactive. So if you can start putting your answers in the chat, I've got a whole bunch of questions for you. I want us to start talking and thinking about these New Year's resolutions. I know it's only December, but it's important to start thinking about it now rather than January 1st. Then we're already in the new year. So do you normally set resolutions? Yes or no? I know I usually do. I have for about 10 years. I'll share that story in a minute. But do you normally set New Year's resolutions or goals? Even if it's not at New Year's, do you set goals sometime during the year? There we go. Okay. So around 40% of all Americans set New Year's resolutions, depending on the statistics that you look at. And if you have set resolutions, how long have you done that? I've personally been doing it for about 11 years. Why do we set New Year's resolutions? For me, it was kind of, I was going through a lot of life changes and I needed something. I wasn't in school anymore. I was working. I was going to be a full-time mom. I was going to do all these things. And so I felt like I needed something else in my life, kind of spurring me on. Well, 62% of people say they feel pressured to do it, like social pressure to set resolutions, which isn't a really good reason always to set a resolution just because other people are pressuring you to do it, because then you're not really truly motivated, right? How many resolutions do you set? Some people set one, some people set many. So 47% of people who were polled that do set resolutions set more than one New Year's resolution. And how do we choose what New Year's resolutions we want to do? Again, that is often, I feel like, kind of that social pressure, like we feel like we need to do what other people are saying. And so what are these New Year's resolutions that we set? One, the most popular New Year's resolution is exercise or improve fitness. The next is improving your finances, then improving mental health, losing weight, or improving your diet, or all kind of up there as the big ones that people set. So we've kind of talked about how we get to these resolutions. Let's go to the next step of how confident, when you set a goal or resolution, do you feel in yourself that you're going to stick to that resolution or that goal, even if it's not a New Year's resolution? When you set a goal, do you feel really confident or not so confident in yourself? I know I'm a bit about 50-50 sometimes. It kind of depends on the resolution. But it's over 80% of people who were polled were confident that they're going to stick to their resolutions, which is interesting since there are lots of statistics of how badly we fail at our New Year's resolution. So some people call it Quitter's Day, is the second Friday of January. Some statistics will show that 23% of people quit at their New Year's resolution within 1 week. And depending on the statistic, again, 22 to over 40% of people have failed at their New Year's resolution by the end of February. And one statistic I saw called it Fall Off the Bandwagon Thursday, where one of the first Thursdays in February is where fast food intake has now increased past how much gym attendance has decreased. And so we've officially fallen off the bandwagon of stopped going to the gym and started eating more fast food. So why do we fail? Why do we fail? 80% of people said they were going to stick to them, and yet most people fail. Why do we fail? Well, you can put your reasons in the chat. People that I've polled and other personally and in online statistics often said it was because they set an unrealistic goal. they weren't realistic with themselves. They didn't keep track of their progress, which is not a good way of setting a goal. If you're not going to track it, what's the point of having that goal? Some just completely forgot about it. Some people said they made too many. Some people lost motivation to do it because it got hard. Maybe they got too busy. They had a change in their priorities. Other people say it wasn't sustainable, so they couldn't keep going long term. It was too difficult. It cost too much money. It cost too much time. They didn't have any accountability. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my resolution journey. So this is me at the beginning of 2013, the first year that I truly set New Year's resolutions as an adult. And when I did that, I was, as you can see, about to have my first baby in March, and I was going to become a stay-at-home mom. I had been working full-time. And so I knew I was going to have this change in my life, and I wanted to be better, right? I wanted to be better at different things. And so I read this book, and it got me all inspired to set resolutions. And so I set year-long resolutions, and then I also set monthly goals every month. Now, I didn't achieve all my monthly goals every month. And so then sometimes I would reset them, but I didn't like keep track when I was counting how many of them were reset. But I set over 100 goals that year. If you count my year-long goals and then all the goals I set every month, it was over 100 resolutions. And I failed at half of them. Some of the big year-long ones, I mean, I didn't even make progress on. One was this like knitting project that I'd had on hold for like a couple years. And I was like, I should really get this done. I didn't even do one stitch on it. Like I didn't even pick it up. So I did not have the greatest success rate in doing my resolutions. Well, I've learned a few things over the years as I've been setting resolutions. This is me and my family now. Some of us got the memo that it was a crazy picture. Other people did not. But so how do I do now? Well, now I have 4 kids. I'm a business owner. I am a wife. I help my husband run his business. And we also have some rental properties. We do a lot of things. I've got a lot of balls in the air all the time, right? This year, I set 25 resolutions. Now, what do I do now that's different what I did then besides setting less resolutions? I use apps to help me keep track of things. I check in with people. I have a planner. I do all these different things so that I am checking in on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis on these goals. I will schedule when things are going to happen. So I have time scheduled to check in on my goals. I schedule the time when I'm going to do things. You know, this is going to happen every Sunday. This is going to happen every Wednesday. Or if it's a monthly thing, I'm going to do this the first weekend of the month or whatever it is. I also reprioritize things. Maybe I give up on a goal because I realize as the year goes on that it's just not a priority right now. I change my goals sometimes. You know, maybe I had a goal to do one thing and I will adapt it as it goes on. This year I had a goal initially starting out that I was really going to focus on my flexibility and my posture in my workouts. And I started out really strong in that in the beginning of the year. And then I found that that was just another component that was making working out feel more difficult. And so I dropped that goal because I didn't need to focus on that. I just needed to focus more on actually doing some sort of exercise, and adding in that component was making it more difficult and more stressful. And I didn't need that. So I've changed a lot of how I do my resolutions over the years. And here's some things that I found about people who are successful in their goals. One is they report that they control their stimulus. So the classic example is always, if you're a smoker, don't go play and you're trying to quit smoking. Don't have cigarettes in the house. Don't be around people who are smoking. Control that stimulus, what is stimulating you to do it. Another one is that people tend to be more successful with action-oriented goals over avoidance-oriented goals. So, doing something versus not doing something. So I'm not going to drink is often a little less successful than I am going to walk outside, being more action-oriented. A lot of people say it comes down to willpower and having that willpower. Having social support and accountability can be really important. Having interpersonal strategies, so working with other people, not trying to do it all on your own. And most people who are successful over a 2-year period reported that they slipped up or failed 14 times in those 2 years. And so it comes down to some resilience and your ability to bounce back from that failure or that slip up and realize that nobody's going to be perfect. And another suggestion was that you ask a question rather than make a declaration. So rather than saying, I will exercise, say, do I want to exercise? And that is something we're going to get into as we go along in this class as well. So what if I could show you a better way? I think we could all agree that there's a better way than what we're doing of setting the same resolutions every year, maybe not setting any resolutions because it's too much work or we just know we're going to fail. So here are the 4 things we're going to kind of talk about. And the first is to know your pain points. Know your pain points, not your neighbor, your sister-in-law, your best friend, any of those other people. Know your pain points. And an example from my life is around the time that I started setting resolutions, a sister-in-law that I'm close with was also setting resolutions, and she would write them on her personal blog. And so I started writing my resolutions on my personal blog. And I would see her resolutions and it was like, oh, she had the goal to drink more water. Well, that's a good goal. I'm going to set it. I didn't have a problem with drinking water. I didn't need to set that goal. That wasn't something that was important to me. So knowing what your pain points are. So thinking about what is the road is the best for your health journey. So it comes up with what are the biggest struggles in your life that you would like to change. So I'm going to put some here that people have told me, but I would love those of you who are here live, if you could drop in the chat something in your health or in your health and life that you would like to change and that you struggle with. So a common one I hear from people is lack of energy, just feeling tired and zapped. The battery is dead. I thought that was kind of a fun example since I spend so much time worrying about my phone battery, kind of comparing it to our personal battery. Goodness, can't talk. I actually had someone send me a message about when they were telling me what they eat in the day and when they just put bedtime and they said, help. And so that I liked this picture of you step on the scale and go, help. My weight is not in control. I don't understand what's happening. We don't even know what is healthy to eat. Sometimes people just don't even know what to eat. And it's this constant stress and anxiety. Now, most of the time, if you're comparing donuts to a salad, I think most people would know, but there's the mental load of making those choices all the time that can be really hard. Then there is thyroid problems. A lot of people I work with have thyroid issues and they feel like maybe their thyroid isn't optimized. They aren't on the right dosage of their thyroid medicine. They aren't feeling like all their thyroid symptoms are controlled, like their weight, their energy. Maybe their thinking isn't as clear as they would like it to be. We just have so much going on that it's hard to know what to focus on. And there's all these feelings that go along with all of it, right? I can feel anxious about my weight, or I feel depressed because I feel so tired all the time. And then being depressed makes me feel more tired. It's this constant battle of being in our head that can be really difficult. So again, what if I could show you a better way? Let's know your pain points. We're going to focus on solutions for multiple problems, and then we'll know your why and know thyself. So we talked about what are your pain points. We just went over those. Now we're going to go on to focusing on solutions for multiple problems. So 2 of those big problems that people often talk to me about are energy and weight. So how can we focus on a solution that will solve multiple problems, energy and weight? Can we do those with the same resolution? Well, we can. And I'm going to suggest to you some different resolutions that would address both of these together. So first is managing stress. Why do we need to manage stress? So stress is an inflammatory response. Now, our body is designed when it experiences a stressor to go through this inflammatory response. It's a good thing. We had a cold flu, like cold, not flu, but like cold flu-like symptoms and strep throat and ear infections run through our family. We needed that inflammatory response. Now it's annoying as all get out when your nose is constantly dripping and you're coughing and all of these things. And my kids are feeling bad because they have fevers, that those are hard, but that inflammatory response is good. It's trying to flush out. It's responding to this invading bacteria or virus and it's flushing it out. Now, our inflammatory responses in our body are designed for an acute event, right? So think a cold. It's going to be over theoretically fairly soon. It's going to flush it out. Or something more external to us is like being attacked by an animal or some physical threat to us is going to trigger that fight or flight response. Now, that is designed to be an acute issue. I'm being attacked. I fight it and it goes away. I run away and it goes away, whatever. And then our body can calm down. Well, in our society, unfortunately, it's more of a mental and emotional stress, right? And those don't go away. And so as we stew and have all of these things going, it continues that inflammatory response. Why is that bad for our energy and our weight? So one thing you can do is simplifying to help with managing stress and your energy is simplifying your diet and think less about food during the day. So you know what? It is okay if you eat Mexican 3 times a week or you eat the same lunch every day because it's something less on your plate that decreases your stress level about it. Thinking positively about yourself. So if you've ever noticed when you think something negative about yourself, like, oh, I just feel like I'm a waste of human space. I didn't get anything done today. I ate too much food. I was lazy today. It kind of sends you in this negative spiral and it can stimulate that stress response. Whereas if you think positively about yourself and focus on the wins you are having in your life, it relieves that stress response and releases those positive endorphins. The stress hormones increase your appetite and also slow down your metabolism. So makes you lose more weight and have less energy in the long term by slowing down your metabolism. So really important to manage your stress and that inflammatory response as best you can in your body. The next way you can help with your energy and your weight is getting sunlight. So sunlight is known to decrease stress, which helps with your energy and weight. It helps you have a better circadian rhythm. I don't know why that word just vanished from my brain. Circadian rhythm. It helps you wake up when you're supposed to. And then if you decrease light and sunlight as the day goes on, then you're able to go to sleep when you're supposed to. And you get that more restful, get a good cycle and more restful sleep. And that helps you have more energy, have that drive, gets your metabolism going in the right direction so that you're able to have more energy and lose less and gain less weight as well. Next is sleep hygiene, kind of going with the sunlight. Watching your screen time, making sure you're going to bed at about the same time, making sure you're waking up at about the same time, not eating too close to bed, not drinking too close to bed. So then you're having to wake up and go to the bathroom a million times in the night. All of these things are really important for, again, if we're overtired and not getting enough sleep, we're not going to have energy. And again, by not having that energy and having that slowness, your body will decrease its metabolism because it doesn't have the rest that it needed to do it. And so again, can lead to more weight gain. Often people will snack more and eat more because they feel like it's going to wake them up. So getting the right amount of sleep, not too much and not too little. And poor sleep overall is associated with weight gain in people. And you have better decision making when you're well rested. So you're more likely to make healthful, good decisions. Or, I stayed up too late last night. So this morning I was really tired and I didn't make a good decision. I didn't get out of bed and go exercise and get myself moving. Whereas earlier this week, I made myself get to bed on time. My husband and I went to bed early. I was able to get up, get my workout in, get going in the morning and made better choices. So the more tired we are, the more overwhelming everything can feel. And so the more likely we are to make less good food choices. And exercise. So exercising will obviously help with your weight and body composition as well as your energy. It seems crazy to think that exercising will give you more energy, but it does get that metabolism going. It gets your heart pumping. It gets you going for the day. And how else can we manage our energy and weight throughout the day? Intermittent fasting and lower carb foods can help with our energy and our weight. How? So it reduces that post-eating fatigue. So after a meal, a big meal especially, you kind of get the afternoon sleepies is what I call them, because it often happens after lunch. We get that post-eating fatigue. So the more carbs we eat and the more often we eat, the more likely we're going to have that fatigue. So reducing the amount of times we're eating by doing intermittent fasting and eating lower carb foods, we don't have to completely eliminate carbs, but watching our carb intake can help with that as well. And again, that helps stimulate your metabolism, again, giving you more energy and helping you lose weight. And it will help you prevent overeating as well. So eating more protein, fat, and fiber-rich foods help you feel more full. And so you're less likely to overeat. Eating enough calories. This is a big one. So many people are shocked at how many calories their body actually needs. I've talked to so many people and they're like, oh, I can't eat more than 1,200 calories a day or I'm going to gain weight. Or I'll tell them, I think you need X number of calories a day. And they're like, oh my gosh, I will gain so much weight. Well, if you are not eating enough calories, your body is going to slow down your metabolism, meaning you will gain weight. And it thinks it's starving and barely has enough to get by just to keep your body going. So it's going to hold on to everything that it possibly can because it doesn't know that you're doing that on purpose, and it just doesn't know when it's going to get enough food again. If you think, and people think, oh, well, if I just sit at a desk all day, even if you sit at a desk all day, you breathe thousands of times in a day. All of that takes muscles to go in and out and in and out. And then your body is exchanging the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Your brain is functioning all day and uses a lot of energy to send signals to your muscles to even just to type or to think and process information and take in information. Your heart beats thousands of times a day. That is a muscle. It is burning energy. Even sitting, you are using muscles to hold up your body. So there's a lot going on just to keep your body alive. And so it's really important that we're eating enough calories. And if you've been under eating calories, there are ways you can add back in those calories and ignite that metabolism. Limiting caffeine. So this one's a hard one for a lot of people, me included sometimes. When we're really tired, we just want to get some caffeine. So again, it's this stimulant. We think it's going to help us, but it just is this artificial high, and it's going to make us crash at the end. And often when we're kind of in that jittery mood, sweet things taste better. Again, it's just not helping us get that good circadian rhythm we were talking about before that keeps your metabolism knowing what's going on. By having all of this artificial up and down, your body doesn't really know what to do. Hydrate. So fatigue is one of the first signs of dehydration. So it's so important to get our water in. It also helps us feel full. And there's nothing like a glass of cold water to wake you up when you're feeling a little drowsy during the day. But water is also really important for flushing out any inflammatory compounds in our body. It's really important to our skin, and by again, drinking and drinking water helps stretch our stomach, help us feel fuller faster. So we've talked about your pain points. We've talked about the solution for multiple problems, all those solutions that work for energy and weight gain. And now we're going to talk about knowing your why. Once this kept up. So understanding your why. We're going to I'm going to drop in the chat a link really quickly if my mouse will wake up better. Chat. So here is one page of a goal setting guide that I wanted to share with you, and it's going to go along with what we're talking about here. Okay, so understanding our why. So first, we need to kind of think about what is our goal. And so I want you to think about what is your goal. If you feel comfortable sharing that in the chat, you can. But what is our objective? What is our goal? What are we trying to get to? And then I want you to think about, why do you want that? Why is it important to you? So if I had the goal to eat more fruits and vegetables every day, why do I want to do that? I want us to kind of think about that. Or if I had the goal that I want to lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, it doesn't matter how much. Why do you want that goal? And in thinking about that, why do you want it? What is the reason to keep going even when it gets really hard? And these are the things that you have to keep in mind, because it's going to get hard, right? And so we need to really write out these reasons of, why is it important? Why is it important for me to lose weight? Because I want my hemoglobin A1C to come down. I want my blood levels of cholesterol to look better. I don't want to have a heart attack, so that I can be there with my kids. I can watch my grandkids grow up. I want to be there for all of these things. Those destinations we talked about at the beginning when we were talking about our health journey. What are those destinations you want to get to? And I want you to be real with yourself, not noble about it, right? If you don't need to say, well, I want to do this so that I can, even if it's a good thing, spend more time with my family. If that isn't really what you want the energy and to lose the weight for, then that's not your why. Maybe it's because you want to travel. Maybe it's because you want to not have to spend money on healthcare costs so that you can go retire early. Whatever it is, be real with yourself. It doesn't need to be noble. You don't need to fall into social pressures to say, oh, well, so I can fit in this size pants so that I can compete with next door neighbor person. Has nothing to do with anyone but you and what matters to you. I might sneeze, sorry. Excuse me. Okay. And it's important while you're doing this to remember two things. One, we are looking for progress, not perfection. None of us, again, there is no health destination we will get to. Maybe we can get to a healthier version of ourselves. But again, when I talked about earlier, I was probably really healthy on day 75 of that journey. And then the next day, I ate cheesecake that I'd saved from Thanksgiving and Halloween candy I'd saved from Halloween, all those things in the freezer. I took them out and I ate them, and I did not exercise that day or the next day. Did not drink the water that I had been doing. I did not keep up doing all those things. So I was no longer at that healthy version of myself, right? It was all about progress. There's no end of it. There's no perfecting it. It's just about progressing. And am I always doing just a little bit better? And the other thing is to make yourself proud. This goes back to what I was saying about being real and not noble about your goals and what is happening. So there's nobody out here that you need to seek validation from except yourself. That's why you need to know what is going to make you, what is it you want to do, and what is going to make you keep going, because you're the person who needs to be proud of yourself. No one else needs to be proud of yourself. It's no one else's business what your goals are and why or why not you're making those goals or not making goals, why you are happy with what you're doing. It's no one else's business but yours. And so that's the person you need to make proud, and you need to be open to being proud of yourself. And so I want you to pause and rethink, because I'm sure many people's goal is weight loss. Almost everyone I talk to, their goal is weight loss. It's totally fine. But I want you, if it was, I want to know, can you think beyond the scale? What else is going to happen? If my computer will wake up. Okay. So again, why do you want to lose weight? What else is going to happen? And can those things happen without you losing weight at all? Can you have more energy? Can you feel better? Could your clothes fit better? Could all of these other things happen without you losing the weight? And also before, what things are going to happen and will happen if you're losing weight? What's going to happen in that process? And again, can those happen without losing weight? So weight loss is a really tricky thing. Our body doesn't want to lose weight, but we can do, and often people will feel like they'll have some success at losing weight and then maybe things will plateau. But if you're just focusing on that number on the scale, you are missing out on so many other benefits. Maybe you're doing strength training, which I would highly recommend, and you have some body composition changes. So your clothes fit entirely differently. You have more energy, you're stronger, so you don't get as fatigued doing things. Those are all huge benefits. And the scale may not have changed much at all, because as you lost fat, you gained muscle. Those are really important things. Your clothes may fit differently. All of these other things that you can look at besides just that number on the scale. Can you look at the number on the scale? Absolutely, but it is not the be all end all of what we're doing here. Even when weight loss is our goal, there are other things that are happening alongside it. So we talked about our pain points, we talked about our solutions for multiple problems, and we talked about understanding our why. And I can't overemphasize how important that why is to being able to set and reach our goals. Because if you don't have a good why behind it, then it's not going to happen. So I even have right here, my kids have gotten into it, but I wrote my goals for this year on a board. And I have at the very top, before I even have my goals, I have my whys. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I wrote those out before I even wrote any of my goals, so that I could know, hey, this is what is important to me. So do these goals, as I wrote them, do they align with that? And if not, then I don't need to be setting that as a goal. Okay. And your why can shift at different times, perhaps. But maybe your why is retiring a spouse, or saving money for college, or whatever it is. And if you reach that why, then maybe it shifts. But if your goals don't align with your why in your life, then you're not going to succeed. And so last is know thyself. So if you were registered for the masterclass, you should have gotten an email, hopefully, unless you registered last minute, to a quiz to help you find out your tendency. So this quiz was developed by Gretchen Rubin. She's an author who writes a lot about habits and habit formation, changing, all of those things. And she came up with these 4 tendencies called upholder, questioner, obliger, and rebel. And it talks about how you meet expectations or commitments. Kind of, do you meet commitments to other people, commitments to yourself? How do you respond to those things? And knowing that can be really helpful. So, if you know that you're a rebel and you just resist anybody making expectations of you, including yourself, you're going to have to really understand the why of a goal and a resolution to not resist that, right? A questioner is going to need to is also really going to need to know the why. An upholder is much easier. It's going to be much easier for them to make that commitment and stick to it longer. An obliger is going to need some support, right? Because they are not as good at meeting commitments to themselves. They're good at helping other people. So knowing that can be really helpful in how you set yourself up for for success in your goals. Knowing your habits. Are you a morning person or a nighttime person? If you are not a morning person, saying I'm going to start going to the 6 a.m. class at the gym every week is a really bad goal because you're not aligning with who you are. You need to know who you are. Am I a person that likes big steps, or do I like lots of little steps? It reminds me of, I had a friend once, we were talking and I was saying, we were both stay-at-home moms with little kids, didn't have a lot of money, so we would work out at home to YouTube videos. And I was saying, oh, I found this channel I really like. I was like, but so many of their workout videos are like 10 minutes long. It's like, I hate that because then I have to find another workout video. I'm like, I want one that's like 30 to 45 minutes and then I'm done. And she was like, oh, no. She's like, I love like doing 3 or 4 little 10-minute separate workout videos. And I was like, oh, no, I do not like doing that. And we, talked about some other things. She liked to clean one room of the house every day. I liked to clean my whole house in one day and be done. She liked to go grocery shopping multiple times a week. I liked to go grocery shopping one time, do one meal plan. So which way are you in doing those things? Knowing about your habits and how you like to go about things can be really important. What do you like? So some family came to visit me for Thanksgiving, and some asked if they could go do a turkey trot. And so I found us a turkey trot. And so I just put it out to the rest of the family saying, hey, no pressure, but if anybody else wants to come, they can come. And I was talking to my other brother that I had invited, and he was like, well, I might come. He was like, my kids say that doesn't sound appealing to them at all. And my wife told me when we got married that she is not a runner and she's not going to take it up. So don't ask her. And I love that about her because she doesn't like it. If you don't like what you're saying, you're not going to do it. So thinking about what are the things you like. And if you don't know, start with the things you know you don't like and see what you can branch out into. And if you can't find anything that you like and only the things you don't like, maybe you need to reevaluate either that goal or why you don't like those things. And is there something you can change about it? Not necessarily a health related example, but part of my story of how I became a dietitian is I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up, when I went to college. And so I took a lot of general classes my first year. And one of my brothers was a nutrition major. He went to dental school, but rather than just be pre-dent, which is not like a real degree you can do anything specific with, he was a nutrition major so that if he changed his mind, dental school didn't work out, X, Y, and Z, he had a degree he could actually do something with. So I took a nutrition class and I left that class thinking I hated it. Then over time, I realized I just hated that it was at 8 a.m. and the teacher had a really soft-spoken voice and was not very energetic. So for a college student at 8 a.m., that was not a good formula. So, if it's, I hate salad. Okay. Have you tried every salad, every green, every salad dressing, every topping? What is it you can do? And sometimes our habits change and what we like changes. I was talking to a client recently and he was saying, like, I used to be able to just eat a salad every day for lunch. And he's like, that just doesn't sound appealing anymore. Okay, you don't have to eat a salad every day for lunch, or maybe just change it up. I used to be able to eat spinach. As long as there was spinach and poppy seed dressing, I could mix whatever else in and I was good to go. Now I don't even want to look at spinach or poppy seed dressing. So I do something different. Again, what do you hate? If you can't figure out what you like, what do you hate? Work around that. And what do you want? Like I said, do you want small steps or big steps? Do you want one goal or a lot of goals? How do you want to break this up? How do you like to do that? How do you bounce back from things? Are you not good at bouncing back? How could you be better? What plan can you make for when that's going to happen? Again, are you a morning or night person? And can you visualize yourself? If you can't visualize yourself doing it, it's going to be really hard for you to make yourself in the hard times do it. You need to try to visualize yourself as the person that you want to become. And if you can't visualize yourself succeeding at the goal, it's going to be really hard to succeed at that goal. And last, that people talked about is accountability. And I love the phrase, teamwork makes the dream work. So, who are you surrounded by every day? Are you surrounded by people on the same path as you? Are you surrounded by people that support you in your goals? Or are you surrounded by naysayers? Now, sometimes we can't avoid people who are naysayers. Maybe they're our coworkers or people in our family, but we don't need to talk to them about our goals. Or maybe we have a frank conversation with them and say, look, this is really important to me, and I can't have you say negative things to me about what I'm trying to accomplish in my life. And so making sure you have people around you that are supporting you. And this makes me think of, so if anybody thinks, were you a person who liked group projects back in school? I was not. But I remember I had to take this writing class, and some friends of mine were like, oh, you should take the writing class with us because everything is a group project. And I was like, that was your selling point? And they're like, no, because if you take the class, every other section of the class, you have to write like a 15 to 20 page paper. If you take this class with us, as a group, we have to write a 15 to 20 page paper. How much easier is it to write a 5-page paper that you then like combine with other people's paper for 3 other people, and now you have a 20-page paper versus writing a 20-page paper by yourself? And I was sold. But again, I had to be surrounded by those people who had the same values as me. I recently just hosted Thanksgiving. We had 17 people for Thanksgiving dinner. And going into it, I was really stressed and overwhelmed. And then on Thanksgiving Day, I was like, man, you guys are invited every year. Like, my husband took care of the meat. My stepmom helped with a lot of the sides and some of the dessert. One of my sister-in-laws helped with some of the other desserts. They helped with the appetizers. Like, everybody was helping with everything. I didn't have to do a ton of dishes. My brothers helped with the dishes. We all just like supported each other and made the whole thing was a resounding success, much more than if I tried to do it myself. Think of a game of tug of war. It's much easier with a team pulling together than one person pulling by themselves. So, can you do this? You know, if you feel like life can be overwhelming and setting all these goals can be really overwhelming, you know, we need to simplify. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you simplify and make it not feel like an uphill bike ride the whole way to your destination that your goals are trying to get you to, be it a dream vacation, a good big anniversary, whatever your goals were, right? I'm there to help you get to the top of that difficult hill. So this is that same mountain I had at the beginning with my girls. A couple years ago, my husband and I hiked that. And it's really hard hiking a mountain because it is just up all the way. But then you get up there and you have that amazing view. And after, you get to go downhill the whole way after. And then you hike another mountain and you do it all again. But it's all worth it because at the end is the clear view of what you did accomplished and an easier downhill trek after. So what is the cost of nutrition-related disease of not making change? So the medical costs of obesity are almost $2,000 higher each year than for people with a healthy weight. One person dies every 34 seconds from heart disease, and the medical costs for heart disease are over $2,000 a year. People with diabetes spend an average of over $16,000 a year on medical expenses. Diabetes is a very expensive one. A third of the most common cancers are preventable with a healthy diet, exercise, and a lean body. 70% of colorectal cancer cases are due to an unhealthy lifestyle. So that's the physical, like medical cost. But what's the personal cost? Again, that you're missing out on those things on your health journey that you wanted. You went on a different path. So to recap, we've talked about being committed to health as a journey, not a destination. We talked about how a healthy lifestyle can make your life more enjoyable and save you money. And we determined your why and talked about some health goals and how to set those goals. So what's next? If you'd like to learn more about this method, I am really excited to announce my Ignite 2024 program. It is a goal setting and accountability program to help you build a healthier lifestyle. So what is this Ignite program? So you get 2 one-to-one sessions with me, a registered dietitian, where I help you at the beginning go over SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. and evaluate your progress and help you evaluate your progress at the end of the program. It's a 5.5-week program. You get the full goal setting guide. So the link I gave you in this is just one small page of the whole goal setting guide that will help you guide you through the whole program. You get daily motivational emails from me Monday through Saturday. You get a customized goal tracker to help you be accountable. And as you fill that out, you send that back into me to be accountable for it in this weekly accountability check-in. You get a private chat with me where you can answer questions and I can provide you support in between our beginning and end session and help you keep you going. And there will be an opening and closing virtual event where we can get each other psyched up and celebrate everyone's wins at the end. And you'll also get a 6-week exercise plan developed by a certified personal trainer. This is not an individualized exercise plan, but a general exercise plan. If you want it more individualized to you, you can also, we can discuss how you can do that for an additional fee to get it more personalized to you. And there's an opportunity if you meet all of your accountability check-ins that you get a gift card for an amount of your investment back when you complete the program. And there's bonuses. There's always bonuses. So you'll also get my 25 ways to soothe emotions without eating. We talked about managing that stress. One way a lot of us manage our stress is by eating. So we're going to talk about, this will give you a lot of ideas of how you can manage stress and your emotions without eating. A stretching video provided by a doctor of chiropractic to help you with some of your aches and pains and know how to stretch and feel better in the body that you have. You'll get a virtual grocery store tour where I send you a video where I walk you through how to grocery shop and what things to look at, what things not to worry about, what things to buy, what things not to buy as we go through. And a recipe book for some meal and snack time inspiration. And depending on your location, you can also get discounts for personal training and chiropractic services. So, for masterclass participants only, the price for this with the coupon code IGNITE25 is only $150 for the 5.5-week program, and you get all of those things. That fast action bonus will end at midnight, Sunday, December 10th. So, and this is for people who registered for the masterclass only, but it will be only $150. After that, the price goes up to $175. And there's also a referral bonus. So change is always more fun with a friend, right? It's always nice to know other people are going through it with you. That's why we have this group program. But if you want a personal person going through it with you besides your chat with me, you can refer a friend to the program, and each of you will get a care package from me to help you crush your goals in 2024. And the value for each of you of that care package is $20. So when you refer a friend, you get a $20 care package to help you crush your goals. If you're not sure about this program, I will drop the link in the chat for where you can register. If I can find my mouse again, sorry. Okay. So there's the link if you're interested. And then here we go. Okay. So, and if you're not sure, you can scan this QR code and it will take you to a link where you can book a call with me. It's a free call where we dive deep into whether this is a good solution for you, or if I have a different solution for you, or where would be a good direction to go. Again, this is a free call, but we can talk about your unique situation if you're not sure that this is the right fit for you, if you want something with more one-on-one, or if this doesn't seem like a good fit for your situation at all. I will be happy to tell you that as well. I will be sending out a replay of this. So expect that to be sent to you in the next few days. It does take me a little while to get this all downloaded and processed and then uploaded to a link that I can share with you. So please be patient with that. And if you want more of the goal setting guide, if you leave a testimonial in my Facebook group or on your personal profile, either as a video or just as a post saying like, hey, I went to this masterclass, I learned this thing and I recommended it. I recommend you sign up for her next masterclass or reach out to Kim. I'll give you more of the goal setting guide, and just shoot me a either tag me in it or shoot me a Facebook message, and I'll get that, the next steps of the goal setting guide that I kind of talked about, more of digging into knowing yourself and things like that than what I shared just for registering for the masterclass. And just to close, I wanted to say you either go you either go one way or the other. You might as well be the one deciding the direction. I just really love this quote because I feel like so often we feel like our health happens to us, and sometimes it does, right? So sometimes you get a diagnosis of cancer. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer at 25. I had no idea that was coming. But from where you go from there, you get to determine the direction. Sometimes there are sharp curves in your health journey, but you can always decide the direction. And even not making a choice when you think you're not making a choice is making a choice in the direction that you're going. So being conscious about that decision is important. So I am going to stop the recording. And if anybody who's here live has any questions, I am happy to answer them. Maybe I will.